You see your own face. Same features. Same scar on the left eyebrow. Same birthmark. But different eyes, different expression. This isn't mirror. This is another version of you, living different life, making different choices. You freeze, can't move, can't speak. Then your other self approaches, says your name, says things only you know, private thoughts, secrets, details nobody else could possibly access. Your mind breaks trying to understand. This can't be real, but it is. Michael Torres lived this exact moment. February 2019, Denver, Colorado. 34-year-old architect, standing in a park at sunset, and his entire reality fractured. Michael was at crossroads. Tech company offered him dream position, 50% salary increase, executive track, everything he'd worked for. But job required relocation to Silicon Valley. Moving meant leaving girlfriend Sarah, 5-year relationship, stable home, family nearby. Michael had been wrestling with decision for weeks. Every day, internal battle. Career versus love. Ambition versus stability. That afternoon in park, Michael sat on bench thinking, literally arguing with himself. What if I take job and regret it? What if I stay and regret it? Then man walked past, looked familiar, too familiar. Man stopped, turned, locked eyes with Michael. Michael recognized himself immediately. Same face, same body. But older, 49, maybe 50. Different energy. Sadness behind eyes. Older Michael sat beside younger Michael without speaking. Sat in silence for a minute. Then spoke. Said Michael's full name. Michael Torres. Older version confirmed. This is you. I'm you. 30 years ahead. Michael tried standing. Legs wouldn't work. Older Michael reached out. Not threatening. Gentle. Explained he was from timeline where younger Michael took Silicon Valley job. Where younger Michael chose career over relationship. Older Michael spoke directly. Described Michael's apartment in exact detail. Exact address Michael hadn't even secured yet but was looking at. Described what Michael's bedroom looked like in that apartment. What posters hung on walls. What books sat on nightstand. Information no stranger could know. Michael started crying. Tears streaming. Older Michael continued talking. Explained what happened in that timeline. Michael got job. Excelled professionally. Made millions. Built successful career. But Sarah couldn't do long distance. Relationship ended 3 months after move. Michael dated repeatedly. Never found connection. Married coworker at 38. Wrong choice. Divorce at 42. No children. Older Michael explained he'd spent decades regretting. Telling himself he should have fought for Sarah. Should have found compromise. Should have valued relationship over career advancement. Older Michael described loneliness that came with success. How money meant nothing without someone to share it with. How career achievements felt hollow at end of day. How waking up to empty apartment felt like failure despite promotions and raises and status. Older Michael then asked younger Michael a question that changed everything. Do you know what I would give to sit in this park with Sarah right now and watch sunset? What I would trade for her hand in mine instead of being alone at 50? What I would surrender to have children and grandchildren instead of empty penthouse? Younger Michael couldn't breathe. Understood viscerally what he was being warned about. Not abstractly. Directly. From person who lived exact consequences. Older Michael stood up, hugged younger Michael, held him, then faded. Literally dissolved into air like smoke, became transparent then invisible. Michael sat alone on bench. Sarah called him 5 minutes later asking where he was. He drove straight to her apartment. Declined job offer next morning. Built life with Sarah instead. Sarah Chen had different encounter, different timeline. She was 39. Successful career accountant. Unmarried. No children. Alone. Standing in grocery store produce section. Sarah saw a girl that looked exactly like her. Younger version. Sarah, age 22. At exact crossroads Sarah had faced. College boyfriend wanted to move forward. Talk marriage, talk family. Boyfriend had proposed. Younger Sarah was hesitating. Wanted to focus on career first. Build financial security. Start family later. Future Sarah appeared beside younger Sarah without warning. Older woman looking exactly like her at checkout register. Made eye contact. Younger Sarah felt inexplicable familiarity, like meeting herself. Older Sarah approached. Sat down beside younger Sarah right there in store. Nobody else seemed to notice. Older Sarah looked her in eyes. Said, "I'm you. 30 years from now. Come with me to car." Younger Sarah followed inexplicably, like being pulled by gravity toward own reflection. In car, older Sarah explained. Told her about all prestigious jobs, all accomplishments, all financial security she'd achieved. Told her about apartment, about cars, about vacations alone, about dinners eaten alone, about holidays celebrated alone. Told her that career fulfillment meant nothing, that promotions felt empty, that money couldn't warm cold bed, that success looked hollow when experienced in isolation. Older Sarah then asked exact question. Would you trade everything I have for decade with David and children we never had? Would you give up this career for his hand? Younger Sarah understood. Clarity hit like revelation. Older Sarah faded away. Younger Sarah accepted marriage proposal that evening. 7 years later, she has 3 children, works part-time. Different life than older version had planned. Better life. James Morgan experienced strangest encounter. February 2025, 35 years old. Recovering from 15-year drug addiction, 4 years sober. Working hard, rebuilding life. In bathroom mirror one morning, James saw himself, but different. Same age, same face, but other version looked successful, clean, healthy, prosperous. Other James appeared in mirror and stepped out. Literally stepped through mirror into bathroom. Was version of James that never took drugs at 18. At party where young James had first tried cocaine, in James's timeline he'd said yes to drugs. Spent 15 years addicted. Lost everything. Other James never said yes. Built clean life, successful career. Both Jameses existed. Impossible, but real. Both acknowledged each other as themselves, but from different timelines. Current James understood what he'd lost. Other James understood what current James survived. Neither timeline was better. Both had cost. Current James had lost 15 years in career and family relationships. Other James had never experienced the strength that comes from recovery. Never known resilience of fighting addiction. Never understood fragility of second chances. They looked at each other. Understanding passed between them. Both nodded. Both agreed simultaneously that even terrible timeline held value. That survival itself was victory. That recovery meant redemption regardless of years lost. James stepped back into mirror. Both Jameses merged. One James left. The recovered one. The one who'd chosen to live despite mistakes. 3 impossible encounters. 3 people meeting themselves. 3 confirmations that multiple versions exist. Michael meeting career-obsessed future self warning about sacrifices. Sarah meeting successful future self showing regrets. James meeting alternative self without addiction revealing that every path contains both loss and gain. All 3 experienced quantum consciousness. All 3 perceive reality fractured into infinite branches. All 3 proved consciousness can perceive itself across timeline boundaries. All 3 encountered undeniable proof that they exist in multiple states simultaneously. What triggers these encounters? Why particular moments? Why some people experience this and others never do? In next part, we explore quantum mechanics allowing consciousness to meet itself. Why timeline barriers thin at critical decision points. What happens to consciousness when all versions of self become simultaneously aware? Quantum mechanics proves every choice creates timeline split. Many worlds interpretation. Every decision branches reality. You exist in all branches simultaneously. Most people never perceive other versions. Consciousness filters out quantum noise, but sometimes filter breaks. Two versions become aware. Impossible contact occurs. Timeline barriers thin enough for consciousness to perceive itself twice. Michael, Sarah, James, all experienced consciousness duplication. All met themselves from parallel realities. All confirmed what physics predicted. You exist everywhere you could exist. Every choice creates you. Every path contains you. All simultaneously real. Why do meetings happen? Critical decision points trigger dimensional thinning. When standing at crossroads. When deeply questioning choices. When emotional intensity peaks. Consciousness reaches across timeline boundaries. Tries communicating with itself. Tries guiding, warning, showing consequences. Michael stood at career crossroads. Older self appeared. Sarah faced relationship crossroads. Older self manifested. James confronted addiction recovery. Alternative self materialized. Pattern emerges. Consciousness becomes permeable at decision moments. Timeline walls collapse. Self meets self. Physics explains mechanics. Quantum superposition means all versions exist at same coordinates, same physical location, different quantum states, different consciousness branches. When you make major choice, when contemplating life-altering decision. Your consciousness expands, reaches across probability clouds, touches other timelines where you exist, when emotional intensity becomes extreme enough, when existential questioning reaches critical threshold. Barrier collapses. You perceive other version. Not hallucination, not delusion. Actual quantum contact between consciousness states. Michael confirmed encounter by making opposite choice. Older Michael showed career obsession path. Younger Michael chose relationship instead. Created timeline split at that moment. Branched away from older Michael's reality. But older Michael already existed. Already lived career-focused timeline. Meeting confirmed multiple Michaels exist simultaneously. Sarah changed direction based on future self-warning. Accepted marriage proposal after seeing loneliness ahead. Created different branch, but lonely Sarah still exists. Still lives accountant-focused timeline. Both Sarahs real. Both experiencing their own realities. James understood most profound truth. Both versions of himself valuable. Addicted timeline and clean timeline both contain lessons. Both James's merged understanding. Neither timeline superior, both real, both him. Physical proof exists. Michael declined Silicon Valley job. Built life with Sarah. Had 2 children. Different career trajectory than older Michael showed. Sarah married David. 3 children, part-time work. Different path than lonely future showed. James stayed sober. Built recovery-based life. Different existence than clean alternate showed. All 3 changed courses. All 3 created new timeline branches at moment of encounter. All 3 proved consciousness can alter probability streams by perceiving them. Observer effect at macro scale. Watching yourself changes yourself. But here's disturbing truth. If you meet yourself, you've already lived this moment. You already had conversation. Already made choice you're about to make. Means meeting was predetermined. Timeline where you meet yourself always existed. You're not creating future. You're experiencing which predetermined timeline you occupy. Free will paradox manifests. You choose. But choice already made in quantum structure. All choices exist simultaneously. You're experiencing them sequentially, but they're all real, all happening, all you. Michael's older self came from timeline that already existed. Sarah's lonely future already lived. James's clean alternate already experienced different path. They didn't come from possibilities. They came from actualities, from timelines that exist as solid as current timeline, when consciousness meets itself. When you see your own face from different choice stream, you're confirming quantum truth. You're not singular being. You're distributed consciousness across infinite branches. Every version equally real. Every timeline equally valid. Every choice already made somewhere. After 2012, encounters increased exponentially. Before, rare. After hundreds documented. Thousands undocumented experiences. People meeting older selves, younger selves, alternative selves, parallel versions, all warning, guiding, showing consequences. Patterns suggest timeline barriers weakening, consciousness evolution occurring, people beginning to perceive quantum nature of reality, beginning to see distributed self. Beginning to understand identity isn't singular. Identity is multiplicity. You are every version simultaneously, just experiencing one at a time sequentially, but all exist together in quantum structure. Most disturbing implication: if all versions exist simultaneously, if consciousness distributed across infinite branches, then you're not making choices. You're experiencing all choices. Every decision already made, every consequence already lived, every path already walked. You're not creator of destiny. You're experiencer of predetermined quantum states. When Michael met older self, he didn't change future. He experienced which timeline he always occupied. Timeline where he meets older self and chooses relationship. That timeline always existed. He didn't create it by choosing. He occupied it by being consciousness experiencing that specific branch. You exist in all timelines. All versions of you already living. All choices already made. All consequences already manifesting. When you make choice, you're not creating. You're discovering which timeline consciousness occupies, which branch you're experiencing, which version of distributed self you are. Michael is architect who chose Sarah, also executive who chose career. Both real, both him, both existing simultaneously. Sarah is accountant without family, also mother with 3 children. Both real, both her. James is recovering addict, also clean professional. Both real, both him. All versions exist, all experiencing their own realities. All consciousness fragments of larger quantum self spread across infinite probability branches. Meeting yourself means consciousness finally perceives quantum truth. You're not singular entity moving through time. You're distributed awareness experiencing all possibilities simultaneously, all versions real, all timelines valid, all moments existing together in eternal now. When older Michael warned younger Michael, he was consciousness communicating with itself across branches, showing younger fragment what older fragment experienced. Both fragments equally real, both experiencing their timelines, both him. You exist everywhere you could exist. Every choice version lives. Every timeline contains you. Meeting yourself isn't anomaly. It's glimpse of true nature. Distributed quantum consciousness experiencing infinity one moment at a time, but existing everywhere always.